They began as a team in Japan, Senpai and Kohai, then came the split that changed their fates in Joshi wrestling, and 15 years later, IYO SKY and Asuka collide in WWE. This is the full story of Asuka versus IYO SKY. Welcome, if you're entering the bell, this is DS, and today we're going deep because the story of IYO SKY versus Asuka that's happening right now in WWE, this isn't just another feud. This is a 15-year drama that started in Japan, crossed oceans, and is now exploding in WWE. It's about philosophy, about legacy, and it's about respect. So let's go deep into it. Here's a full story of Asuka and IYO SKY. Kana, future WWE's Asuka, made her debut in 2004. She worked all over the Japanese scenes, A to Z, DDT, OZ Academy, Smash, and she built a reputation as a sharp striker with deadly locks, but also a rebel. Then Io Shirai, she started wrestling in 2007 with her sister Mio Shirai. At first, Io was introduced as Mio's younger sister, but the Shirai sisters quickly got the industry buzzing for their charisma and natural heel presence. By the late 2000s, they were rising stars in promotions like Ice Ribbon and JWP. And it was 2010 when Asuka and Io joined forces. Kana, Io, and Mio formed the stable called Triple Tails. And they were very unique because they weren't tied to one promotion. They toured through Smash, Wave, OZ Academy, and even produced their own shows, which was really cool. With a really cool presentation with a new gear, photo shoots, and this dangerous heel energy, they came across as this fresh outlaws in the Joshi scene. And they blew up. Triple Tails elevated all three, Kana stepping into her prime, Io and Mio breaking out as true stars, with Kana working as a senpai, the veteran, and Io as the Kohai soaking up the spotlight with her signature high-flying. But this alliance did not last long. By 2011, Io shocked fans by leaving Triple Tails and signing with Stardom, the hot new promotion at the time that you probably all know about, right? Such a staple in women's wrestling now with alumni including Toni Storm, Julia, Chelsea Green, Blake Monroe, and more. But what was so interesting was that Kana wanted nothing to do with Stardom. It was both philosophical and personal. Stardom's co-founder and head trainer was Nana Takahashi, Kana's ex-partner that she had this bitter, real-life split with. Asuka went public with this manifesto ripping into Stardom, saying Stardom is an organization that was created to defeat me, to destroy me personally. And for fans, Io's decision to break away from Triple Tails from Asuka and Mio felt like a betrayal of respect. And to make it even deeper, here's a cultural context that makes the split even more juicy. So in Japan and many East Asian countries, there's this Senpai-Kohai culture.
In Japanese wrestling, there's a very strict Senpai-Kohai system.
A senpai, senior, is respected for life, and Kohai, junior, defers and follows senpai's lead. So when Io left Kana's orbit and embraced Stardom, the very thing Kana rejected, it wasn't just a career ambition, it was a cultural break. The Kohai stepping away from her senpai's path. And that's the fracture that makes everything that follows so much juicier. And from there, their careers became total opposites. Io Shirai rose as the ace of Stardom. She held the World of Stardom Championship multiple times, headlining the company's biggest shows, and won Tokyo Sports Joshi Pro Wrestling Grand Prize 3 years straight. That's basically top women's wrestler award for Japan. She even came close to eclipsing the men's side in 2015, placing second for the Tokyo Sports MVP award right after Okada, and this was a huge deal in Japan. She was an absolute superstar, the face of the women's wrestling in Japan. Asuka, on the other hand, doubled down on being the outsider. In a cover story for Weekly Pro Wrestling, she branded herself as the anti-Joshi, and Joshi here means women's wrestling in Japan, and she dropped this pipe bomb piece blasting the scene as stale and mediocre, criticizing phony moves and conservative booking. Her scathing manifesto on the status quo of Joshi wrestling angered many senior figures in the industry, and she was ostracized, including being placed in separate dressing rooms during shows. But she wasn't just trying to be different, she wasn't just rebelling, she was really smart. She had strategy. While most Joshi companies were focused only on Japanese domestic fans, Kana actively courted the international audience. She used social media to connect with foreign fans, did interviews with media outside of Japan, and booked international shows like Shimmer in America. And she also made some bold business moves outside of the ring. Kana brought back Gravia photo shoots, basically think of like diva-style sexy photo shoots, and even launched Kana Office to control her own booking and businesses as a CEO. And she refused to be boxed in as just Joshi. She booked men on her shows and made her brand bigger than one company. And she told fans, no rival exists among female wrestlers. I am waiting for one to appear. and that rival turned out to be Io. This video is sponsored by Venice.AI, and listen, just like Asuka and Io's friendship blowing up into betrayal, there's some shady stuff happening in the AI world that nobody's really talking about. Sam Altman, the ChatGPT guy, literally said AI is gonna get to know you over your life. They're giving me Big Brother vibes, not the fun reality TV one, but the scary government surveillance kind. And it's not just them. Alexa's always listening. Meta stalks your browsing history. Why would AI companies suddenly be any different? I do not and cannot hand over my diary, my thirst tweets, and my booking ideas for me versus Eye Candy Elliott. And that's why I started using Venice.AI. It's open source AI platform. Venice does not spy on you, doesn't store your conversations on their server. Everything stays on your device. So I can ask literally anything without feeling like I'm getting kayfabe by big tech. And with their pro plan, you get all the good stuff. PDF uploads for research, limitless text, high image limits, and even the option to turn off safe mode if you're feeling spicy. Maybe I'll drop a pillow fight match between Dragon Lee and Finn Balor. ChatGPT would have been like, sorry, I can't do that. Plus, they have multiple AI models you can switch between, reasoning, small, medium, large, and my fave, Venice Uncensored. So watch this, I've been having so much fun with it. I've been generating tons of drawings of Asuka in Sailor Moon style, the Pixar style. The Pixar style is so cute. Io one was a little bit harder to nail down because like the Hime haircut is harder to explain, but aren't they so freaking cute? So if you want to use AI without handing over your deepest, most scandalous wrestling takes to the government or big tech, go to Venice.AI/ringthebell and use code RINGTHEBELL for 20% off a pro plan. That's Venice.AI/ringthebell and use the code RINGTHEBELL. And then America. In 2015, Kana signed with WWE, becoming Asuka, and dominated instantly. She defeated Bayley in 2016, held the NXT Women's Championship for whopping 510 days, and went to the main roster without ever losing. If we're not talking about that Eva Marie Battle Royale moment, of course. Io's US break came in Lucha Underground as part of Black Lotus Triad with Kairi Hojo and Mayu Iwatani. Then in 2017, Kairi joined WWE as Kairi Sane, won the Mae Young Classic, NXT Women's Championship, and eventually teamed up with Asuka as the Kabuki Warriors, winning the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. And by 2018, Io signed with NXT after making the finals of the Mae Young Classic. She won NXT Women's Championship in 2020 and dominated the NXT Women's division just like Asuka had before her. So by the end of 2010s, all three, Asuka, Io, and Kairi, were in WWE. And at SummerSlam 2022, Io was called up to the main roster as IYO SKY, aligning with Bayley and Dakota Kai to form Damage Control.
When Kairi went back to Japan, I was alone and felt lonely. But just having Io around really healed my heart.
And from there, WWE made sure to tease the heck out of this inevitable dream match between the two, making sure that they don't really touch each other that much. And of course, it culminated into this unforgettable Raw segment where they were just yelling at each other in Japanese. And finally, in September of 2023, they collided on SmackDown, Io defending the WWE Women's Championship against Asuka in what became the first main event between two Asian women on WWE television. It was history made. Then, a few months later, WWE throws a curveball. Asuka turns and joins Damage Control, reuniting with a returning Kairi Sane. With that, WWE has this powerhouse faction, Io as champion, Asuka and Kairi as her allies, with Bayley as the mastermind. It was like a Joshi dream team, but if you know the history, you know it couldn't last. Moving to 2025 at WrestleMania 41, IYO SKY reached the peak of her career, becoming the first Japanese women ever to win a match at WrestleMania, defeating Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. That was huge, unexpected, and that was a milestone that Asuka never reached. And with that, the Kohai has officially surpassed the Senpai. And after months of teasing, finally, Asuka turns on IYO SKY, poison misting her, who is defending her new wrestling soulmate, Rhea Ripley. And that's the background for this emotional breakup that's happening between IYO and Asuka, with Kairi in the middle. Oh, and things are juicy. So when you see IYO SKY versus Asuka feud on WWE TV, remember, this is not just another feud. It is a 15-year saga started in Japan, stretched through NXT, and is now playing out on WWE. It's the face of Joshi wrestling versus anti-Joshi. It's Kohai versus Senpai, and with Kairi stuck in the middle, the drama is just beginning. So yeah, that's the full story between Asuka and IYO. Let me know in the comments, are you team IYO or team Asuka, or are you just praying for Kairi's sanity in the middle? Make sure to subscribe for more women's wrestling content, and if you want to follow me on social media, you can find me at DSN on Instagram and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!